The locksmith spent his entire life building for giant safes, and then I picked a cracking coefficient, the highest one, locked themselves in. I thought this would lead to the genius of unlocking. Unexpectedly, his memory had already reached the pinnacle of perfection. People want to rescue him, but I realized it couldn't be done at all. In the end, he became the locksmith's tomb, sinking to the deep sea along with the body. And the person he was waiting for appeared today. 100 years later, the man's name is Artist. It's a bank clerk, doing the lowest level of work every day. Things that people don't know. He actually has another identity. That's the big deal of cracking the safe. Unlock a difficult lock. It only takes 8 seconds. Dreaming of one day being able to unlock the fortifying ropes of an old locksmith. But is such an expert. But no one has been interested. Until that day arrives, someone sent him an anonymous email. Invite him to try his hand. I thought it was just a prank. After deep reflection, Kayatai, or did you decide to go and investigate? He arrived at the designated location by email. After checking the code, the bodyguard took him to the innermost part. The gathering here is undoubtedly not the top unlocking masters of various cities, but only Artist was full of doubts. At first, I thought it was a meeting of the 18 classics, but was forced to participate in a lock opening competition. He hasn't figured out the situation yet. Someone successfully unlocked the lock on the field. Next up is the second one. Bird, I see only the last spot left. Artist is just starting to take action. I saw him put his hand on the password disk, gently rotate a few turns, successfully won the second round with the last quota, although it is difficult to increase. But for Artist, it's still not a problem. This time, the long-haired man is still the first to speak up successfully. After him is Artist. They took the final step as a result. However, the difficulty of obtaining the solution this time is clearly higher than before. Several levels. Even the confident long-haired man pulled out specialized equipment, but Artist still has a calm expression on his face, even chatting with a nearby opponent. Until there are only 30 seconds left, he's just starting to take it seriously. As the password disk rotates, the internal wheels are precisely buckled 1 or 2 times. Final. Artist won this game, and what's even more shocking is that the entire cracking process took him less than 10 seconds. At this point, a fresh and refined woman in the crowd attracted him. But what he doesn't know is, this woman is about to change his life. Early the next morning, he went to the coffee shop to buy breakfast as usual, but I met yesterday's curly-haired girl here. The two of them immediately found a place to sit down. Just as I sat her down, the curly-haired girl took out a few things, but he brought all these things. But he just stole it from someone in the store. Originally, his name was Wen, a globally wanted jewelry thief, affiliated to an international robbery gang for the purpose of contacting Artist, mainly to invite him to join the gang. He also arranged the previous anonymous emails and unlock matches. The purpose is to test his abilities. Obviously, he was very satisfied with the result. Originally thinking of death, you can't lie in this stall either. The next target of the heinous gang that belongs to the Han family, however, makes Artist's heart beat. Why not? Because they're following the legends of the old locksmith, the one that sank into the deep sea. The other 3 are still serving the World Bank today, but the service period is only the last 4 days left. Once the deadline is reached, all safes will be destroyed. In other words, the robbery gang needs to complete 3 international robberies in 4 days. And this is also Artist's last chance to come into contact with legends. Quinn didn't force it, but left the address for Artist to consider. After a night of consideration, finally, Artist decided to join. Soon, he arrived at Quinn's base based on the address, and the other members also appeared one by one, responsible for action. Logistics hackers, pickup drivers, bearded. There is also military force to take on the same responsibility as the supervision team. After confirming important information and operational plans, talents begin to take action. The first stop is a small bank located in Paris, but as it was the first time that Artist showed exceptional nervousness for one's own purposes, he can only grit his scalp. He pretended to be a passerby entering the bank, borrowing a toilet, then stay in the restroom and wait for pickup. Continuing to appear, try to warm up, while the security guard helps open the door. Successfully follow the security key and enter the counter again, claiming to dispose of expensive heavy objects to support the bank manager. At this point, it's the hacker girl's turn to appear. He came to the counter, continuously speaking a foreign language. Men who cannot understand foreign languages can only call in the manager. As expected, the entire bank under investigation. Only the manager can speak a foreign language. See the manager being dispersed. Erwin sneaked out again to pick up a table. The two took the elevator and arrived at the vault, and it appeared in front of them. It is one of the legends of the old blacksmith. In order to alleviate the excitement inside, Artist picked a piece of music. Then take off your coat, close to the safe, gently rotating the password disk. At the same time, the interior of the safe is also rapidly changing. All the movements couldn't escape. Artist listening to over 400 million password combinations. He successfully cracked it in less than a minute. Immediately, the two of them filled up the money and pretended that nothing had happened. Leaving one after another, the bank completed its first order without realizing it. But what they don't know is, the police have already targeted them and recognized Goen and Taga. I also speculated from the stolen safe that their target should be the elderly locksmith's legendary safe. Meanwhile, Artist and his team have returned to the base, celebrating the success of the first vote. Watching Gwen dance gracefully and elegantly, Artist once again sings. After this period of interaction, he has developed a liking for Gwen, but the relationship between Tonga and him is clearly not average. See Gwen leave. Artist followed up. The two are chatting about each other's past. Originally, Gwen was the daughter of a wealthy family, although we have no worries about food and clothing. But life is very boring. That's why he left home to seek excitement. After a conversation, we talked about our next plans again. The next day, they arrived in Prague, and this time the goal is even more difficult than last time. There are still police officers lurking around. Nevertheless, Brother Tom, they still have a solution. First, Artist enters by pretending to be branch personnel. After arriving at the inspection area, I took out a fake certificate that I had prepared beforehand. Yimin's identity was supposed to be discovered. Unexpectedly, it passed directly through. When I first recognized the information, it was the hacker girl who hacked into the information and tampered with it. Encounter a door that requires a key to open. Artist pretended to be the key with his hands, opened the door to make medicine, and after the hacker's sister helped open it, Gwen also managed to escape the shock like a lull. The two eventually met in the elevator. Suddenly, Artist's brain cramps. Interrogate Gwen that he and Brother Tone are lovers. Why are you still hanging him? However, Gwen denied his relationship with Brother Tone, and their conversation was also heard by the other guy on the other side. My face turned green with anger. At this moment, the elevator door opened. A security guard suddenly appeared. Gwen said nothing. Direct forward drive, one move, one step, precise naming. Even a security guard insisted on breaking him down. Artist on the side was so scared that he couldn't even breathe. Soon, two security guards were successfully resolved. Artist also started cracking the safe, but then an accident happened. The security guard in the surveillance room found that the video couldn't match before and after the recording. Realizing that someone has hacked into the system, immediately block all elevators. At the same time, the police also noticed something was wrong. Start intervening. On the other side, the hacker's sister also reported the situation to Tonga. See here, Brother Coax can only wear a mask. Prepared to implement backup plan, he rushed into the bank alone. With his superb martial arts skills, combined with the anesthesia gun, one by one, the guards were knocked down and quickly controlled. Full court. It's strange how long it has been. Previously, I still haven't seen the police. So the police found the wrong bank. Originally, this safe had already been sent to the branch, and there were also issues with the border crossing process on Artist's side. The original password disk suddenly shrank and read. Obviously, it triggered the protection mechanism. Once again, make a mistake, the safe will be completely destroyed. The situation is getting worse now. The security guard in the surveillance room has also called the police. Not long after, the police will arrive at the scene. No way, he can only adjust his mindset. Try again. Fortunately, this lock successfully broke into the password disk. Rebound. He closed his eyes, then tried to crack it, but suddenly Artist frowns completely. The password disk has been retracted again. I heard they failed. Unexpectedly. The next second, Artist unexpectedly stepped forward and opened the safe. Piles of banknotes appeared in front of me. The two cheered excitedly hugging each other, just as they were about to go further. But there's news coming from Brother Tom. Tell them to retreat quickly. The two quickly filled up the banknotes, and then mixed into the crowd and rushed out. I thought I could escape smoothly. What run Artist didn't expect was Konga unexpectedly abandoned at the last moment. And at this point, the police finally arrived. See here, Artist can't only turn around and run for his life. He's on the roadside. A bicycle exerts all its strength and fiercely steps on the pedal. Nevertheless, the police still managed to catch up easily. No way, he can only charge down the stairs on one side. Finally, he arrived at the railway side, striving forward and backward. Finally jumped onto the train, but he wasn't happy about his escape. On the contrary, he felt extremely disappointed in abandoning his companions. I didn't expect to spend so much time together. The words come with betrayal. After, Artist returns home lonely. But what he didn't expect was Gwen and the hacker girl are waiting for him here. The two of them apologized together, and he said he had parted ways with Tonga. It turned out that after they separated, Gwen had a dispute with Tonga over Artist's matter. For Tonga, who left his companions behind, he was equally disappointed. More importantly, their concepts are different. Brother Tom, they only rob for money, but Gwen is not. He's just like Artist. It's all about unlocking the legendary locksmith safe. After the big argument, Gwen has left the team, just left with him. The hacker girl also got off the car. He also expressed that he didn't want to be the next to be abandoned, so the two decided to go find Artist, prepare to team up with him, take down the third legendary safe. After they speak, Artist's heart still beats in the end. The goal this time is to build a huge casino safe. It will be transported and destroyed in 8 hours, so they plan to do it during the shift change at 5 a.m. Unfortunately, their call channel has long been cracked by the police. The plan was leaked as a result, and the police quickly rushed to the casino upon learning about it. I plan to ambush a water here. But what caused the sheriff to arrive and wonder is, the casino manager claimed that the police had already notified him. To avoid the worst-case scenario, they have advanced the transportation time by 1.5 hours. Only then did the sheriff react. They were deceived. Original, 8 hours ago. The hacker girl pretended to be a police officer and called the casino. Tell them that the safe has been targeted. The casino can only notify the bank to advance the transportation time. And the plan that the police learned about was also the hacker girl. Meanwhile, Lo Owens got mixed into the transport vehicle, while the driver is not paying attention, quickly took action to solve them, and then arrived at the casino with Artist. Unknowingly transported the safe away. Artist knows that the police will soon find out, so it can only be cracked on the car. But what they don't know is, Brother Tone is also around here, and even worse, and they also discovered their location through localization. The same hacker girl also discovered Brother Tub at this moment and wanted to go up. Procrastinate. Unexpectedly, it was one step late, and he was caught by the police as a result. In order to arrest the others, the police actually threatened him with his younger brother. Under helplessness, he can only tell the police his location, but is the position of the Barrel brother. On the other side, Artist Chi is locked at the critical moment, but a sudden sharp turn, but it caused the last lock to deviate. Angry, Artist pounded a few times. I didn't expect this hammer to miraculously clasp his hand. At this moment, the two cheered completely, but just as they were about to take the money and leave, Brother Tone and Big Beard appeared. I was thinking of solving Artist with just one shot. Unexpectedly, the gun was already swapped by Gowen, and he was pointed at with a gun by Dogwen. Instantly fell into the disadvantageous situation. Seeing these two people, they can only surrender. After the police arrived, the scene is gone. The only thing that Artist and his wife have is the two brothers tied to the car. Meanwhile, Artist and his companions arrived at the dock. I want to escape on a yacht. This can be sudden. The sound coming from behind made their hearts turn to ashes. They never expected it. The police arrived at this moment. Gowen immediately pulled out his gun. He is very clear in his heart. Anyway, today, it's impossible to escape. So I made a request to the sheriff. As long as he can let Artist go, I will obediently follow him back. Otherwise, everyone will live with death. After deep reflection, the sheriff still agreed. After all, he's not the real one. Under Gowen's repeated persuasion, Artist can only leave in sorrow. Looking at the pre-prepared passports and tickets, he reminisced about the little things he had with Gwen. He firmly believes that one day he will meet Gwen again. The story doesn't end there. Instead, it just started. 3 months later, two people have approached Artist. They want to ask Artist to crack a safe, and to crack him, he is the last of the four great legends of the gods. Dusk,